Get ready with me for Queen City Anime Con. I am currently just gonna try on this cosplay and put it together and make any adjustments if needed. The con is in about 5 days from now, so I have about 5 days to con crunch and get everything together. And I'm gonna vlog the entire thing. Here's everything it came with. Some of the pieces fell apart, like the buttons came off of this. And one of the white things came off of this part, so I will have to re-glue it. And I don't really like the way this piece looks, so I think I'm going to try and figure out a way to pin my actual vision to this piece so that it looks better than just that painted on design. Of these pieces, I can look at it and immediately know where it goes, but other pieces, I'm looking at it and I'm totally confused on where it would even go. So I'm gonna look at a reference photo and go from there. Gloves have trouble fitting me, so I usually try on the gloves first to see if they need any adjustments. And the patchwork on these gloves is terrible. I'm not a professional sewer, but there's gaps everywhere. You can see my fingers through multiple part of the gloves that's not even a completed stitch. It's falling apart. So I think I will probably just trash these gloves and just use better quality ones that I have at my own home. Patchwork on this glove is better, though this tip of the finger is annoying me. And there is a gap right here where my pinky is. So I will probably just see if I have any black gloves at home. They're also really elastic and tight on my hand. It feels like I'm losing circulation in my hand as I'm wearing these. Alright, I figured out where the missing buttons went, and so now I glued them to the pieces where they belong with actual, good quality glue. So I'm gonna leave that there to dry. Now let's get some wig washing done so I'll have clean wigs for the convention. Now usually I wash my wigs individually in the bathroom sink, but I don't have the energy for that, especially because today I'm washing multiple wigs for multiple people. So I'm actually going to make wig soup in the bathtub this time. Yeet. Well, that don't seem like enough water. Maybe I should add more. Add in some cheap shampoo. And a good dose of fabric softener. I don't have a giant stick, so I'm literally just using this cane that my brother bought for a Plague Doctor cosplay. And now I'm just gonna stir my wigs around. Still waiting to hear back from someone in my group about whether or not he wants a wig. But if he does, I'll just wash that one in the sink separately, just to make my life easier. Now I'm gonna leave that for an hour, and we're gonna move on to a different part of the process. Now I'm gonna replace my contact fluid and talk about what happened last time we went to Queen City. So, Queen City Anime Con is actually a con that me and my group have been to before. We were just looking for cons in the area, and there just so happened to be one that wasn't too far away, and it seemed like the most interesting out of all of the options we were looking at. And so we were like, fuck it, let's go over and check it out. So, they were doing COVID tests. This was back last year when COVID was still at large and just everyone was trying to be careful. So they made us take COVID tests that had to be approved by the con staff. But here's the thing. The con staff that they decided to put in charge of approving or disapproving COVID tests was a third party. It was a third party company that wasn't even at the con. So we had to take photos of negative COVID tests and send them to this third party company The third-party company then had to approve the COVID test and then let whoever was doing the tickets know that this individual had been approved to go inside the convention center. So we took our COVID tests. All of them were negative. We took a photo of our negative COVID test and sent it to this third-party company. But so we sat outside the con for, I want to say, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, waiting to hear back. So my mom, my brother, and I had been approved. We got our tickets, but my friend, Jack, had not been approved yet. So we were waiting to hear back on his COVID test. Eventually, when it hit the 45-minute to an hour mark, we were like, we can't wait this long. So my mom took her pass off and put it around Jack's neck and said, you guys go have fun. I will sit out here and wait until Jack's COVID test is approved. So that's what we did. Me, David, and Jack took the pass that my mom gave us. And so we had 3 passes in total. So instead of my mom coming, my friend Jack came into the building with us. And we walked around. We did our little con things. We shopped. We met other cosplayers. It was really great. Great community there. Met a lot of cool people. So yeah. Did some shopping. And then literally as we were walking out of the convention center, like leaving, having done our shopping and meeting cosplayers and whatnot, my mom gets a notification on her phone. So she opens up her phone and checks it, and it was this third-party company saying that they just, and I mean just, approved Jack's COVID test. So literally, we waited probably 45 minutes to an hour outside the con, spent probably an hour in the con, and then left, and like as we were leaving, they approved Jack's COVID test. So it was really fucking stupid. It took way too long. I'm hoping that they're not doing that again this year. A boy can dream, because it was just so fucking like obnoxious last year. Obviously safety isn't obnoxious. I just wish that they had not decided to do it through a third-party company, because the third-party company took forever, and we would not have gotten into the convention at all for like hours if we had actually waited on Jack's COVID test to get approved. So it was just a whole mess. So I'm just hoping that they either did not go through a third party this year, or that they are just dropping the COVID tests entirely this year. Since I think all of the pieces that have drying glue on them go on the top half of the cosplay, I think I'm going to try and put together the bottom half. The first issue is with these pants. Obviously, if you follow me on TikTok, you know that these pants are too loose. And so I'm going to put some elastic in them, and hopefully they'll be able to stay in place. Time to take the wigs out and hang them up to dry. I will stir them one more time before they come out, just to make sure they're super done and ready to be removed. Alright, let's hang these up to dry. I'm gonna hang this in there. This one I think I'm gonna hang on the railing here. Make sure to get it as even as possible. This one I'm also going to hang on the railing. And then I can style all of those tomorrow. Sure to air dry your wigs. Wigs take about 12 to 24 hours to dry. So if you're impatient, keep checking in on them and see how long it takes for your wigs to dry. I'm gonna call it there for today, but maybe I'll come back to this later today, but I'm definitely gonna come back to this tomorrow. Alright, it is day 2 of con crunching. I can't remember where I left the last clip off, but I did successfully assemble the top. A few other of the pieces need to be assembled still, including the pants, but I'm gonna get to that today. The shirt has all of the pieces that need to be attached, so next I'm gonna start on the other pieces. So this piece of fabric is supposed to hold his armband in place, this piece, but it's super loose, so I think I'm gonna add some elastic to it. And then I don't like that these are 2 separate pieces, so I think I might just glue it to this, piece and go from there. The elastic is now in place, so now no matter how I move my arm or how much, it's gonna stay in place. Now, I don't like that this piece and this foam thing to attach to it are 2 separate pieces, so I think I'm gonna glue them together so that they'll be one coherent piece. I put a old empty hairspray bottle inside the sleeve so I don't accidentally glue this closed and the glue doesn't bleed through and stick to the other side. And I think I'm gonna just zigzag glue on here and then just smack this piece on top. The glue is on, the pieces are in place, I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'll figure out what I want to do about these Velcro bits later. Now to assemble and add all the required pieces to the GoRo pan, because I still have a lot in my pile here that needs to be attached to the pan. The weird thong thing came as 2 separate pieces, so I think I'm also gonna glue this together just so I can have it be one piece and not be like so messy and all over the place. Genshin cosplays are actually a lot more simple and a lot less pieces if you just glue the things that need to be attached together. Couldn't figure out where this went, but from looking at reference photos, I think this actually goes on his ass. So I think I am actually just gonna sew this to the back of the pants and just call it a day. Well, I think I have too many layers of fabric on the back of the pants, so I think I am probably just gonna end up gluing it, because I do not want to risk using these sharp-ass safety pins right next to, like, where my lower back, my butt is. So, I'm gonna fabric glue it to the pants. Alright, we're narrowing down the pieces, now to work out where the rest of this stuff goes. The belt was also too loose on me, so I think I'm gonna glue this excess together so that it will be one solid piece and cut off the little dangly bits. Now my living room is covered with drying fabric glue, but I digress. There's a few more pieces here, but I think I should probably save them until tomorrow when all of the glue will be dry, and I can go from there. This glove also needs to be adjusted so it will stay in place, but that's a job for another me on another day. Now I'm gonna go get my wigs, and we're gonna move on to wig styling. Most of the wigs were still a little damp, so I'm gonna style this one. This is a REM wig, but I style it for my mom because she cosplays Nicole Watterson, and so I'm gonna style it for Nicole. Well, I brushed it out, but as you can see, there's a lot of frizz going on with this wig, so I think I'm gonna take it and steam it. And she's done. When she's all steamed out like this, you can really tell how unevenly I cut the bangs when I cut them a few years ago. But other than that, I'm really happy with how this looks. Now I'm gonna slide a wig cap over her so she'll be ready for shipping. Putting your wig cap over your wigs when they're on a head like this makes it easier to keep them detangled and keep them in place and neat. But only do this if you have a loose wig. If you have like a super stylized wig that is like spiky, don't do this. As far as modifications go, I made a lot of progress today, and currently everything else that I can work on is drying, including the wigs that are currently drying and the fabric glue that is currently drying. So I'm gonna call it a day here, I think. I might come back later if the glue dries super quickly, but if not, I will come back tomorrow. Alright, it is probably a few hours later, I'd say, and my wigs are dry, so I'm gonna start working on them again. First wig I've got to style is this half and half Gundam Tanaka wig, and pretty much all it really needs is to just be brushed out and accessorized. Alright, there's our Gundam Tanaka wig finished. I think I'm gonna give him some accessories, and then we're gonna move on to the next wig. I kind of wish I had some kind of like animal or hamster hair clip to put in this wig, but I don't, so I'm gonna make do. I'm gonna go with that for now, just because I don't have the proper hair clips to match this character anymore or match this wig color scheme, so I'm just gonna leave it there for now. Since half of this wig is styled and half of it isn't, I've put all of the parts with hairspray outside of the wig cap, and I've put all of the loose, flowy bits inside of the wig cap. Technically, you're supposed to do this with a ponytail band, but I don't have one on hand, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. We make do here. Now next is this Goro wig that greatly needs to be brushed out and detangled. This wig has some insane crimp lining, like, if I just hold the camera this close, you can probably see it. And so, I think I'm gonna steam this wig, because I think it really needs it. Next thing I want to do with this cosplay is something I actually saw on like TikTok or something, where if you have ears for a character, you cut a hole in the wig, a small hole, where the ears will be, so that the ears can poke up through the wig. Alright, I've got the ears on top of the wig. I don't really know how I'm gonna go about doing this. I might try removing the ears and then putting the headband on and then putting the wig on, and then trying to wiggle the motors through the wig and go from there. Alright, I cut some starting holes in the wig. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this headband on my head instead and see if I can get the wig over the headband now. Alright, I successfully got the motors through the wig. We'll see how this goes. Now to make sure the ears are gonna move properly with the wig on. They do. Alright, we're good to go. Probably will style this wig in a way so that the hair will stay away from the motors. Because I don't want the hair getting in the way of the motion of the motors. I do have somewhere I need to be soon, so I will go do that thing, and then I will come back and work on this wig. Alright, it is probably about an hour or two later since that last clip. I put pins in where the motors will go so that I don't accidentally style the wig hair on top of the holes. And I'm just gonna kind of do what feels right. Alright, I absolutely devoured with this wig, though I feel like I went a bit overboard, but I did not style the back, because who the fuck styles the back of their wigs? So, I'm pretty happy with how this came out. I would have gotten a time lapse, but I just had to keep looking at my reference of Goro so many times that I was like, I'd rather just not get a time lapse than just having to keep stopping the time lapse and looking at the reference. So you missed the time lapse, but it came out pretty good. This wig, however, we cannot package because it is styled. So we are just going to pin it in place, make sure it won't leap around, and we will just leave it like that. I do want to style these Goro ears because the floof kind of goes everywhere, and I don't really like how messy it looks, so I'm going to go in with some hairspray and fix it. So I finished hairspraying and styling the ears. Here's how they came out. I am super happy with them. And yeah, now my hands are covered in hairspray. I think this is actually all I'm going to do today, because I think I do want to call it here soon. So I am going to leave this here for today, and maybe I'll come back tomorrow. Good morning, you beautiful, lovely people. It is day 3 of con crunching, and all of the fabric glue is dried, so let's go check on all of the accessories. Actually, first, before we do any of that, I realized yesterday I forgot to accessorize this wig in my usual style, and so I'm gonna go back and do that now, because I forgot. These dog bone hair clips from Alienfant, because obviously he's a dog. There we go, now he's con ready. Now let's go check on all of the other pieces. Alright, and we're gonna take off the supports for the belt. Take off this ribbon I used to hold it together, because I ran out of hair clips to support it with. Feels pretty good and in place. Let's see how it fits, though. Fits pretty well. It'll definitely stay on once I use it for the cosplay. So yeah, this was a win. Next is this flap that I glued to the pants. Looks like the glue is very dry and very in place. Looking good. Next is his weird crotch fabric. The glue is dry, it feels pretty in place, and it looks pretty accurate to what it's supposed to look like. The armband is dry, but actually the armband is the piece that I want to modify next. So I'm going to put it on just to see where we're at fit-wise. Make sure it fits. Now I'm gonna... So yeah, the Velcro pretty much misses each other because it's so loose. Like, here's the end of one Velcro strap, put it there. There's the end of the other. So, I don't really know how I'm gonna resize this. Maybe I won't, and I'll just leave it as is, being super loose. It's glued to the sleeve anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter if it's loose or not, in theory. But yeah, that came out pretty good. I have a couple more pieces to assemble over here, so I'm gonna do that now. Alright, so from what I can tell, these two pieces attach like this, and then they hang on the side of the costume. And I think you're supposed to safety pin it to this, but I feel like I'm trying to eliminate safety pins from the equation here, so I think I'm just going to glue these pieces together. Now I'm going to let that dry for a bit and move on to these last few pieces. Couldn't really figure out what this was, but after clipping it together, I think it's an armband, and I think it goes on the arm that that piece that I just glued together goes on. Originally, I was gonna glue it to the armband or elastic it so it would stay in place, but I think just the elastic from the rest of the sleeve will keep it in place. So I think actually this black leather piece here does not actually need any more modification. Last but not least is this piece and a bow. I can't figure out where this bow goes, but I'm gonna set it aside and maybe ask my TikTok audience. This part of the belt attaches to this belt, and I think I am just gonna go ahead and just use the safety pins, because I have no idea how else I would attach it to this belt. To start, I'm gonna put the belt on, and I am just gonna pin it where it would go. So yeah. And I'm gonna try not to prick myself in the process. Alright, like there, I think. Beautiful. That might be on... no. I thought it was on the wrong side for a second, but I think it's because my camera is mirrored, and so this is on the right side, if you were looking at it. Pretty much everything is ready. I have to wait for the glue to dry on that part, but other than that, everything is pretty much done. I do still have to figure out where this bow goes, but I'll get back to you if I figure it out. So that I have more footage to show for today, because I've pretty much done everything I need to do. I'm just going to do a makeup test and plan out how I want to do my makeup. So, these are going to be masculine characters. So, yeah. Since masculine characters use very simple makeup, it's going to be a super easy con because I just have to bring that simple makeup. I'm thinking this part of the video might be more enjoyable as a time lapse, so I'm going to time lapse it. Right now this makeup looks like a clusterfuck, but it was to make sure that I could do the makeup the way I wanted to. So this is how I'm going to do Gundam Tanaka. This is how I'm going to do my Goro makeup. And then on the day of the con, I'm going to do makeup similar to this, but I'm going to put lip gloss over my top lip so that only my top lip will be black and not this bottom lip here. Now, everything I just used for this makeup look, I'm gonna pack so that I know what I need. Alright, the makeup is all packed. Most of the makeup came off. And that's pretty much everything I needed to do today. So, I actually think I'm gonna leave this here for today. We got a lot done today, and I'm super proud of the progress we made. And so, I'm gonna move on with my life. I'll probably come back tomorrow with some more stuff to do. I still need to work on my Gundam cosplay. But for now, I'm going to leave this day here. Alright, today is day 4. I think you'll probably hear some background noise. My brother's on a call. But today is day 4, I think. I bought a t-shirt. It's behind me somewhere there. And some red fabric paint, and I'm going to paint Gundam's t-shirt today. I put an Amazon box inside the shirt so that the paint won't bleed through to the other side, and I'm gonna paint his design, or try to. This fabric paint is gonna bleed a lot, so I'm gonna put it in this cup and then paintbrush it onto the shirt so that it won't bleed or go everywhere too messy or quickly. Again, sorry for the background noise. I am sharing this house with someone. Alright, I drew a base sketch of what I want, and now I'm gonna go back over it, thicken the lines a little bit, add all of the sticky out bits, and it's gonna look great. And here's what we're left with. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close to, and I'm pretty happy with myself. I'm gonna keep the paint and the cup around in case I need to do a second layer after this dries. Now at this point, I'm mostly concerned that my dog or somebody will step on it, so I'm gonna move it somewhere over here, away from everything else, just to make sure it doesn't, like, get stepped on or transferred to anything else. Alright, and perfect. That was pretty much all I had planned for today, so I think I'm actually gonna cut this day short here. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow with more stuff to do. Today is the final day before the con. Technically tomorrow, we leave at 3, so I still technically have almost like half a day tomorrow to work on the con crunching, but technically today is the last full day that I have to work on con crunching. And everything is pretty much done, actually. I just need to pack everything. That's what needs to happen now, is that everything that's going needs to be packed. So that's pretty much the only goal for today, is to put everything in a pile that can and will be packed into the car. Now, to save time, me and my family own 2 cars, one that's mine and one that's my mother's. So we're actually gonna pack everything that's non-expirable, like no makeup, but wigs and costumes and stuff, into her car, and then she will go to work tomorrow. And then I will pack anything that is expirable, like any snacks we're bringing, or any makeup or anything like that, contact lenses, anything like that will go in my car. And when we go meet with her when I go pick her up at work, when at like 2:30 when she gets off, um, we're gonna move everything in my car into her car, and then we're gonna take her car and pick everyone else up and drive down. So for right now, my main goal is to sort everything into piles of what can be packed tonight and go with my mother to work that's non-expirable, and what will stay here and go in my car when I go pick her up that could have the heat affect it, like makeup or something. So that's the goal for today. Let's get started. So first, I'm gonna pack my costume. Well, costumes. First, we need to cut the tag off of this shirt because tags are a huge sensory problem for me, and I will actually not survive wearing this shirt if there is any semblance of a tag on it. Then we have a red scarf from my closet. Looking at the reference photo, Gundam definitely wears, like, black pants, but I think I'm just gonna wear shorts because that's just gonna be what's most comfortable for me, and what I prioritize at conventions is being comfortable and not exactly looking accurate. Especially for this closet cosplay I'm just doing so that I can meet his VA. Now this black shirt I bought at an Amazon return center uh, to wear over my Gundam Tanaka cosplay. There's not a lot of pieces going on with this cosplay, so I think I'm just gonna throw it in a plastic bag and just take it in a plastic bag. Alright, and with that, the can go in the car tonight pile begins. Next is my Goro cosplay, and I will likely get a cosplay bag to put all of the pieces in. My Goro cosplay is now packed, and this can go in the car tonight pile. Whoops, I forgot a piece. Obviously gotta bring my chest binder. Alright, I've taken the ears off their charger, and now I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the pile. Whomp. Oh, shit. Now in its place, I'm charging my neck fan so I can stay cool at the con tomorrow. It still hasn't really sunk in yet. Like, it still sounds crazy to me that almost this time tomorrow, I will be at a convention in cosplay that I've been preparing for all week. It just doesn't feel real quite yet, you know? All of the wigs should be able to go out to the car today, although this one I want to pack in a special way so that it won't fall over and get unstyled and stuff. I think I'm going to put it in this Amazon box I destroyed so that I could put it inside the t-shirt and paint on it. And I'm just going to put this wrapping paper in there so it'll hopefully stay in place. Now it's in the box, it has a better chance of not falling over, and so we're going to put that in the can be packed tonight. My dog is looking very dejected right now. You can always tell when we're packing or when we're planning to go somewhere, and she always gets super depressed around that time because she knows that we're going somewhere without her. I think my mom usually keeps her Nicole cosplay on her in her room. So, as far as I'm aware, I don't need to pack her cosplay because I think she just already has it herself in her room. So, I don't think I need to pack her cosplay. Brother and Jack are going as Lethal Company characters, so I have the Lethal Company orange jumpsuits right here, gas masks in this yellow bag right here. Those can go in the can be packed tonight pile. Pack my contacts. I'm bringing my blue, red, and black sclera contacts. Since I'm a little worried my contacts are not going to stay in place, I think I will wait till the last second to pack these. But that's pretty much all that needed to be done as far as sorting goes. Maybe I will vlog us loading up the car, maybe not. We shall see. It is day one of the convention. I've been working to make my sleep schedule backwards because most of the events at this con are from like 11 p.m. to like, or no, 11 a.m. Wait, no. Are from 11 a.m., which I think is the 11 before lunchtime. I don't know. My brain, I just woke up. My brain's not ready to think like this. But a lot of the events go from like lunchtime to like midnight. So I was working really hard on reversing my sleep schedule so that I can stay awake for the events. And I did. Kind of, sort of. I didn't sleep that well last night, and then I didn't sleep that well today, but I'm hoping it's going to be enough to get me through the night. I'm going to pack some last moment essentials, including my stuff, my stuffed animal, my sleep blindfold, and my favorite pillow cube, along with my charger, my earbuds. After I get done showering, I'm going to pack my deodorant, some socks for myself to wear at the convention, and my toothbrush probably. For now, it's time for me to go take a shower. Alright, I just got out of the shower. As far as pants go, I think I'm gonna wear some white shorts. Simply because, Goro wears, like, those bandages around his waist. And I did not receive anything like that with my Goro cosplay. And also because I just don't like being in my underwear in my fancy cosplay pants, so I usually wear shorts underneath my cosplay pants so they don't get like musty or gross or anything like that. And also because the pants are super loose and I'm still worried they're gonna fall down while I'm walking around the con all day. So I think just having that extra layer of fabric underneath the pants, just in case they do fall down, would make me feel a little bit better. I'm aiming to leave here at 2:05, 2:10, so I can arrive at where my mom works at 2:30 and pick her up. And currently, I think I'm making great time, but that can change depending on how long it takes me to do something. I keep looking at the time and thinking I'm making, like, great time, and then I remember everything I still have to do before I leave, and I'm just like, oh. I'm gonna pack everything there still is to pack, and then I think I'm just gonna do my makeup, most of it, just so that I don't have to worry about doing it at the convention. I'm gonna go ahead and put my contacts in and do most of my makeup. I think we're gonna eat on the way there, so I think I'm gonna avoid doing my lipstick and stuff, but I will do my eye makeup and my foundation and stuff. Alright, and we're done. I have a little bit more I want to add to this makeup look, but obviously now is not the time. That is for when I get to the convention and after I eat. This contact is irritating me really badly, so against my better judgment, I'm gonna take it out, wash it off, and try putting it back in. Alright, because I had to fuck around and fix my contact, I'm now running a little bit late, but I think I should still have enough time to do everything I need to do. I think the contact is still irritating me, so I think I really am just gonna go take it out, maybe hope for the best when we get there that I can try again and put it back in. I have to drive very soon, and so I'm a little worried about driving with a contact that's irritating my eye. So I'm gonna take it off, take them both out, and maybe try putting them in later. My eye is still very irritated. It's possible that there's actually just contaminants in my eye and not on the contacts that are irritating my eyes. But I think my eye will have a better chance of cleaning itself out if I'm not wearing the contacts. So I'm going to take them out for now. Hopefully later I'll get an opportunity to put them back in. And if not, I'll just do contactless GoRo for this con. I am bringing flavored water bottles, but the flavored water gives me heartburn, so I'm gonna put regular water in this giant water bottle I have. Let's hope for the best. They have drinking fountains at the con. Alright, Queen City, I'm on my way. Alright, we are at our first stop of the day, which is where my mom works, and we are gonna pick up my mom, and then we're gonna pick up some other party members, if you will. My eye is still a bit achy, but not, like, irritated anymore. I think my makeup or something might be irritating my eye. I'm gonna see if it goes away, but if it gets, worse or doesn't go away before the con, I'll just wipe my eye makeup off entirely and start over from square one. Because I have to prioritize my eye safety before anything else. So, we just picked up the next member of our party. One of our party members reported in that he was feeling a little bit ill. He did just have his wisdom teeth pulled, so we are going to buy him a COVID test. And if he doesn't have COVID, we're going to bring him along. And if he does, then we'll leave him at home. So, currently we are at the next party member's house, though he did say that he was not quite feeling up to going to the convention. So, we are going to wait for him for another 5 more minutes, and if we don't hear anything, I think we are unfortunately going to go without him. So, we did not hear back, so we're going on without him, and we're going to go get some food. Alright, we're fed, we're on our way. By the way, if you're ever in the Carolinas, please head over to Cookout. You are totally missing out if you have been to the Carolinas and have not gone to Cookout. Alright, so we are about 15 minutes away from the con, and we're running about 3 hours late. A lot of stuff happened, and we're a little worried that we're not going to be able to check in to the con, but we're going to see how it goes. I'll keep y'all updated. Hey, this is Editing Jax. I was just going through this footage and I realized that I never made another vlog announcing that we did make it into the con, but we did make it in, we got all ready, and then we started heading to panels.
So the following shogun was also accepting of wakeshudo. This was really ingrained in Japanese society to have these young men lovers. Even to the point that I had to mention this because I'm a literature major. The tale of Genji. This is considered one of the greatest pieces of Japanese literature. It's considered by most to be one of the first novels ever written. And there's a part of the book, it's not that they made a big deal of it, it's not like, oh, Genji. It just happens where one night he strikes out with a hot lady he's trying to seduce. He saves his little brother instead. He goes, the boy would like to be more helpful. He's referring to the fact that he was like, oh, look at your sister, tell her I'm here. He's not like, dude, she's not into you. And he's like, well, at least you must not abandon me. Genji called the boy down beside him. The boy was delighted. Such were Genji's youthful charms. Genji, for his part, or so one is informed, found the boy more attractive than his chilly sister. Okay. So it was a thriving and not illegal career, if you will. So we have female and male prostitutes. Male prostitutes were very popular, as you can see from these very dated at all times. Interestingly though, they still, so the attractive male in like Nanshoku or homosexual Japan was young. They really liked young. These, so much like in the first chapter, or the first book when you don't know what's going on, he like goes into a funeral and the guy hangs back in the cannister churches and you're like, oh my god, he's a demon. They spent this entire book series making weird, provocative jokes, like they're like, please gently stroke the most delicate parts. Oh, but I'm talking about a paintbrush. I totally wasn't talking about sex, it's fine. But this is the picture he's painting. Then we have this scene, all right? Clearly meant to imply that the demon is sleeping with the child who's ripped out his eye and sold his soul to him. But it's fine because it turns out he's just putting a corset on him. So it's like this constant bait and switch for books upon books that are hinting at and like implying
My tail died.
that there's something really weird and demonic and pedophilic going on. They're beautiful, Lucy.
Thank you. I agree. I would go. Anyway, if you're uncomfortable with photos taken of you, also probably not the panel for you. Fuck you too. Why did you flip me? Is that pasta? Hey, no, come back. Hey, Austin, get back here. Listen, Austin, listen. Look at this room.
It was my idea.
Why did they give this room?
It was all me.
Do you see this? Talk.
I'm not staff. I don't
Talk to your superiors.
Wait a minute!
Let them know what you saw here today.
Yeah, this is a fire hazard.
I can fill a bigger room if you let me.
Yeah, hey,
No comment.
if this room starts burning down, we're all dead.
I'm telling you that
It's a fire hazard. Just so you know. Let's get security.
All right. Anywho, can I get a time check? Does somebody have the time? Fun fact, I used to share. I used to have a line formed showing IDs I used to share, and that's why I can't go back to amazement, and that's why I'm here. That is not a joke, that is a true story.
Ah.
So, no more sharing, unless you have something to share.
No more sharing, David.
So if you do have something you want to trade, like sip for sip, then we'll talk in a bit. We'll have a little Q&A for that later. Anyway.
You have an offering.
In a bit. I was gonna say a thing, but we got people. Come on, no, this is the right place. Let's keep it real. Some of you are in here while you wait for the better panels. That's okay. That's
You're the photographer.
That too.
It's cute.
Hey, take him out to dinner first. Jesus. Not the speed dating. Hey, if y'all want to hit him up for photos or other things after the show, please do it after the show. It's my time now. Hey-o. 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 Hey. Oh. Hey, yo. You guys are cool. Raise your hand if you've been drinking.
What?
You're doing it on the job? That's gotta get me some kind of discount, bro. Man, this is expensive, man. Alright. Y'all are my kind of people, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I guess maybe we should get started. Is that cool with everyone?
Hell yeah!
Yeah!
Okay. I'm sorry, I thought you heard a little bunch of whiny little bitches. I said, is that okay with everyone?
Yeah!
If I don't get complaints from both sides, we're not doing this right. We get it? Time is a flat circle. Alright, quick disclaimer. This is all for comedy purposes. Something.
You guys shared the whole class.
This is not a truth or dare panel. Y'all can make out as much as you want, just away from my time. Hello? Star. Okay, thank you. Okay. Time is a flat circle. Here's a couple disclaimers. Number one, I'm going to be telling a lot of jokes. I'm going to be telling a lot of truths. A lot of them are going to be sad, or a lot of them are going to be funny. Hopefully, most of them are going to be funny. I hope you guys don't know which are true and which are fake, but that doesn't really matter because I'm here for one purpose and one purpose only, and it's to make sure you guys have a good time. Is that okay?
Yeah!
Little bitches again. Is that okay?
Yeah!
Shit. Alright. Now that's complaint worthy. I like that. Alright, so let me introduce all our hosts real quick, starting with the person I do not know, but they came up here, so now you guys. Please tell us who you are.
I am Marion.
Hi, Marion! Round of applause for Marion. Why did you come up here, Marion?
You said that there was a chair, and I was like, it'd be so funny if I was there right now.
And you were right! Round of applause for Marion.
I am Tencock. Hello.
10 cock, like 10 cocks?
No, like this 10 inches of dirt.
Okay. And there is a term. I'm sorry, I'm very tired, very drunk. I'm trying my best. Once I hit puberty, you wait.
Man, I wish I was drunk right
so
now.
Marion, Timecodes, and I go by many names.
I could have been. It's so sad.
If you're like my friend, you can call me Chex, C-H-E-X, like Chex Mix. Don't call me Chex Mix. If we're really close friends, you can call me Baby, B-A-B-Y. Don't ask questions. All right. And anyway, I'm gonna get this started because I've been stalling long enough. Well, y'all have been pretty fun, so it's been fun stalling with y'all. My clicker, can I get a click? And one more.
My show is a little bit silly and a little bit pretentious, like Shakespeare's Willie or Noam Chomsky wearing a strap-on. It's also a little bit gay and a little bit offensive, like Thanksgiving Day or Noam Chomsky wearing a strap-on. So put your cell phones to vibrate and put. Welcome to the show. It goes a little bit like this. Joke. Exactly. Welcome to the show. It goes a little bit like this. With a rap and a diss and a swift rap on the wrist, a rap on the kiss. Like Hershey's rapping the kiss shit. I got a show that'll test your kids, and that's what the question and the question is. What's funny? 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 Funny? What's 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 funny? Funny? Oh yeah. Humor is often linked to shared experience. Like a guy gets up and says, "Have you noticed that public restrooms have really been efficient hand dryers?" Oh my god, yes I have. Ha ha ha, really good point. They should fix that. It's good to know that somebody finally gets me. Because my life forced me, which unconsciously forced me to lose all sense of self. So it's nice to think about hand dryers and not that shitty word. Because stand-up comedy is actually pretty easy. If you're an Asian comic, just get up and say, "My mother's got the weirdest fucking accent." Then just do a Chinese accent, because everybody laughs at the Chinese accent, because they probably thought your people were laughable, and now you give them a chance to express that in public. Oh yeah. back cause I noticed that the keys are to a Hummer. Fuck my life, I'ma fuck my wife. So fuck my wife, and fuck my life. And my son is gay, but not sitcom gay. Daughter's a whore like another girl that used to be your mother. But the marriage made her Miss Mary Americana. I'm on a team with that screaming prima donna. But the radical feminists made my wife a man. Oh, and if I die happy, the situation will be autoerotic asphyxiation. I hate my life and it makes me back. And my friend is black, but I don't know what to call him. So I just call him Tom. Even though his name is Steve. I hate my job, I hate my life, hate my kids, I hate my wife. Jews don't know I do it, Judas beat me to it. I'm slowly slipping into a solipsistic coma. And I masturbate because I'm the only one whose standards are low enough to fuck me.
Too real, man.
What's funny? 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 Funny, funny. It's a boy. What's funny? 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 Funny. Hopefully this.
Two more disclaimers. Well, the claims will be far and far, like it's fine. Two things. Number one, for the sake of the show and the bit, we are not dating, but don't tell them. Okay, so I'm a lonely single person. Number two, raise your hand if you don't know about Burnham or about both Burnham or haven't seen the show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Why are you guys here? What drew you to this panel? Because it is about Bo Burnham and comedy.
He's a photographer.
You do not.
Maybe the cheering and coaxing them in.
Okay. Some of you were like, you kind of dragged me from the hallway. I don't know. But you're still here.
So, that's kind of the main point of this panel. Is I kind of want to do an exploration on what is funny. Because it's an easy topic, right? It makes you laugh, haha, it's funny. I get it. There's a lot of cool stuff happening around. We're surrounded by a bunch of weeds. Haha, drunk hosts. Haha, bunch of kissing girls in the corner over there. Sorry. Long.
No,
Panel's over. Everyone go home.
Come back! It's his very sick sister who's calling.
You know his wife definitely called.
Long always comes back. Next slide. So, this panel's a little bit fun, but look who joined us.
Hey, listen.
No. You know what I want to listen to?
You asked me to be
You know what I
here.
want to listen
You
to?
asked me to be
Hey,
here.
Oh, yeah? That's what I want to listen to. Sit down. So, part of this panel is a little bit of it. Because I do care, believe it or not, about making myself look good. So we're going to talk about it. We as a culture have developed a soft spot for cynical, irreverent, and even nihilistic comedy. Deadpool, South Park.
I found out where Long is going. Long is going to the rooftop.
From what, the bar?
I don't know.
He's either jumping
I've
off or
just
going
been
to the bar.
updated on Long's whereabouts.
Okay, listen. Who's texting long right now?
Me. You.
Okay, keep us updated. Once you have critical information, he either better be dead or drinking himself to death.
Oh, he is drinking himself to death upstairs. We'll definitely see him at some party.
So he won't be back a long time.
We just got a school emoji. It's 10:20. That's crazy. I'm out
The panel is done. We're all going to invade Long's personal space. As is the will of the people. Hey, y'all! Let's circle. Let's keep moving. All right, one more time. So, in these times, is comedy based in earnestness and genuine human emotion still possible? Or are we reduced to this bullshit that I'm spouting out today? Let's find out. Next. And one more time.
David,
Come in. Join us.
join us.
What'd you say? I was told someone else joined us.
Who just joined us? Okay, can we give them a warm welcome? All right, claps done. Okay, hey-o. That's how I feel like. Next.
So, to answer this question, we will be looking at the evolution of Beau's work and its significance. The reason I chose Beau is because he's my idol. I've had him for a very long time since his first special, which is very rough, very little over edgy, very pushing the lines
It's kinda
a little bit more so than needed to in order to make something great. But he started out a little rough, but towards the end, I mean, he really evolved as an artist. And I would like to mimic that journey because when I was starting out, I mean, it was, I wouldn't say it was bad, but it was like a little cringy. Still cringy, but like at least it's fun, right? Is it fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Next slide, please. Alright. This is all live, there's no comedy. I'm here to educate you. So, we're moving on from postmodern cynicism and ironic detachment, which can be
I adopted a child from overseas to rescue him from child labor factories. And on his very first birthday, we went to build a bear workshop.
So like stuff like that, right? It's funny, it's detached, it's a little cynical, and that's how he started his career. And honestly, that's how most of America's comedic landscape through the beginning. There are some things before that, but I'm not getting into them because I don't feel like doing the research, so we'll move on. And from there we go to our current post-COVID life. After all the bullshit happened, and we kind of find ourselves where we are right now, which is
People rising in the streets, the war, the drought. The more I look, the more I see nothing to joke about. Is comedy over? Should I leave you alone? Cause really, who's gonna go for joking in a time like this? Should I be joking in a time like this?
It's not the whole song because I have the whole songs prepared at the end. But I do have to prepare an actual panel.
Alright, so it is after the final panel. I recorded some of the panel, but my phone died in the middle of it, which is super heartbreaking because it was a really funny panel, and it was probably my favorite panel we went to tonight. and my phone died in the middle of it. And so much funny shit happened, and I didn't get to film it. So, reminder to charge your phones before conventions, especially if you're gonna vlog, because I am so sad that I could not film more of that. We had, there were a few interesting characters. There was someone who was cosplaying, I can't remember her name, but the lady with the green hair who looks like a little girl from, One Punch Man. There was one cosplayer who was, like, super loud and, like, disruptive. Now, in her defense, I think she was drunk. But she was, like, especially loud and disruptive. She kept, like, threatening to fight the host and kept, like, yelling, joking and sarcastic, I'll give it to her, but, like, threats at people. And I was just like, oh my god. And then there was a couple that sat in front of us at the event where my phone died that I literally felt like they, like, hated each other. Now, I am a gay man who has never been in a healthy relationship in his life, so I'm in no place to judge, but, the dude was, like, trying to play into the jokes, like, the host was like, raise your hand if you're just a girl, and this dude, like, raised his hand, and then the girlfriend literally turned around to him and was like, well, I'm straight, so I guess we have to break up now. And I was just like, lady, it's a joke. You don't have to take it that serious. And then there was another point where, like, whenever he kept trying to shout jokes, this was an Asian dude, and so whenever he kept trying to shout jokes about him being Asian, his girlfriend would literally, like, cover his mouth so that he couldn't yell at the host, even though it was funny. So, like, it's not my place.
High-key hating each other.
I'm not in their relationship. I don't know their personal business. I was just like, wow. And then she kept trying to, like, make out with him in the middle of the event, and he had to, like, keep stopping her, because, like, I don't know. I heard back from our fourth party member, and he had to go to the ER, so
Fun.
here's hoping he's okay.
If he dies, rip.
Yeah.
Rest in rip.
We are gonna go pick up some food from Taco Bell, and we're pretty much just gonna come back to the room and probably go to bed and have more events tomorrow. We're also running several hours late, and we came in, like, pretty much right after they closed the shopping center, so I didn't get to shop at any of the small businesses today. But tomorrow, that is on the list, and that is something I definitely want to go do. So, yeah. I may continue this vlog at some point later tonight, or you will see me in the morning. We shall see. Bye-bye. So, we are back. We have food. I did forget to mention that a lot of people at the last event we went to were, like, super drunk. And there was even one dude in, like, a stripy hat who was, like, on another plane of existence. He must have been on, like, some kind of super weed, and he was, like, so high out of his mind that, like, the guy was asking us to repeat phrase. He would go, like, ayo, and he would want the audience to go back, ayo, and there was straight up a time where he, like, went, ayo, and the audience went, ayo, and then as soon as the audience finished their ayo, this high out of his mind dude went, ayo. And he was like, he almost fell out of the chair a few times. I don't even think he was really on this plane of existence. It was kind of funny. It is currently 9:45 a.m. We were gonna get up at 10, but somebody got up early and woke me up. So, yes, you mother. So we're up about 15 minutes earlier than I had originally planned. But I guess that means more time to, like, go hunt down some food and eat. Today I am hoping to meet Gundam's voice actor, Chris. And I am also hoping to do some shopping, because this is our last day here. I want to make sure I get some shopping done. I currently don't have any photos with cosplayers, simply because we were, like, so, I think just, like, still adjusting to the con last night and just going to panels that we didn't get a chance to. There was, like, one cosplayer that I really wanted to get a photo with, and they got occupied talking to someone who was running a panel, and so we gave up on waiting for them and went back to our hotel room. This eye is still refusing to take any contacts, so I'm going contactless in this eye today because life is awful and everything sucks. So, I don't know if I mentioned this last night, but the host of the really funny event that we all liked was trying to get a noise complaint from our neighbors. He was trying to make us louder than everyone else. He was like, I want to be the loudest panel. I want to get a noise complaint. And I think he did. And so that was kind of funny. Today I'm going to make sure to bring my charger with me so that my phone does not die in the middle of a good panel this time. So currently we are looking at the schedules and we cannot find a schedule for any celebrity meetups. So we're gonna ask some con staff, maybe ask around, see if anyone knows if there's gonna be a VA meetup, and we're gonna go from there. Here's the whole cosplay fit, because I think, unfortunately, I didn't get, like, any pics as Goro. I think I probably got vlog footage as Goro, but I don't think I actually got any, like, pics as Goro. So, let's get a nice shot of the cosplay before we are out vlogging and I totally forget. So David back there has decided to opt out of the cosplaying today, but we got my mom here as her favorite, Nicole Watterson. So we're gonna head down to the floor. David, say hi.
You're talking, so maybe you should start. Introduce what our credentials are and why we're authorized to speak on this topic, I suppose.
Which we are not.
No, not at all. But we're going to do it anyway, and they can't stop us. I am Ashley Nichols. I am a voice actor and animator, primarily animator, voice actor only very recently. And I have worked on the Has Been Hotel pilot as a cleanup artist, or cleanup lead and animator. I worked on the Animaniacs reboot for Hulu. I am the cleanup lead on Lackadaisy. I was the cleanup lead for the pilot and now the full series. And I have voiced in Digital Circus as Zooble. Lots of Digital Circus fans, heck yeah. I'm also voicing Belle in Billy Bus Stop and Lacey in Lackadaisy. So yeah, I have been around the indie scene for a while now. Michael, who are you?
I am Michael Kovacs. I've been a voice actor for a long time, but most people got to know me from my role as Angel Dust in the pilot for Has Been Hotel. And then from there I voiced Rocky in Lackadaisy, N in Murder Drones, and Jax in Digital Circus. And also Billy. In Billy Bus Stop I voiced Fantokyo, not Billy, Fantokyo.
I thought you were about to say you voiced Billy and Billy Bus Stop.
I nearly did. No, I voiced Fantokyo and a character named Percy in Billy Bus Stop.
But yeah.
Wait, you didn't even say that you create Farfetch, which is an indie animated show.
Shut up.
You literally forgot something so important.
I hate talking about myself. I feel like I'm not allowed to talk about Farfetch too much.
Farfetch a little bit.
So I create my own indie animated show called Farfetched. And I always feel like I'm not allowed to talk about it yet because it's not real yet. We've got previews out, and we've got a bunch of animation clips out, and some songs and whatnot. But the pilot is still a work in progress, so I'm always just like, I can't talk too much about it until it's done, or else I'm a faker. But yeah, I made the very unwise decision of starting my own indie animated series. Never do that unless you hate yourself, but let's be real, a lot of us here are creatives and in the internet scene, so we all hate ourselves anyway, so.
Creating your own cartoon is really expensive.
It's expensive.
And time-consuming.
And expensive.
And expensive.
And expensive, if we think.
And it's also very expensive.
Okay, so what is Farfetched? Farfetched, I like to describe it as Scooby-Doo meets Resident Evil, but for people who shop at Hot Topic. Of course, that gets a cheer. I should have known all you were Hot Topic shoppers. I can tell.
I'm surprised that Digital Circus got like Hot Topic merch and Murder Drones didn't.
Murder Drones needs Hot Topic merch. Do they have it now? Heck yes. Finally.
Wait, really? I'm gonna look for that right now.
He's gonna go buy it right now.
I'm gonna buy them, yeah. I'm gonna look for them, you talk.
Okay. So yeah, Farfetched is my own indie series that I am creating with my co-creator Dave Capdeville. It features a lot of the cast and crew, or not cast, crew from the old Has-Been pilot days. I brought a lot of them over onto my project, like, come here, I enjoyed working with you. You're mine now forever, haha. And yeah, if anyone wants to ask questions about making your own series, I can let you know how much of a mistake that is from my own experience, but it is unbelievably expensive and time-consuming, and I get very frequent questions, as does any indie creator who's working on their own show. What's taking so long? Where is it? Why isn't it done yet? Let me tell you why any indie thing that you're waiting for isn't done yet, and that is indie animation can cost anywhere between $6,000 to $15,000 per minute of on-screen animation.
Did we mention it was expensive?
Oh, geez.
Expensive. And that is, of course, if you are paying your team well.
Which you try your best to, because
most projects try their best to, but so that is one of the #1 things that I let people know when they are like, hey, I want to make my own indie thing. Start small, build up an audience, because you're going to need an audience to help you fund this thing. And that is why, if you look at most indie projects, they started out as something completely different or something much, much smaller before they jumped into animation. If you look at Has-Been Hotel, the OG, that started as the comic Zootopia. And
Zoophobia.
Zoophobia. Or I just speak out of my ass. It started out as the comic Zootopia, and of course a lot of music videos and whatnot on the YouTube channel, and keeping with that helped the creator build up an audience. And then if you look at Monkey Wrench, that was a bunch of animations by the creator Zarel for literally 10 years before he decided to jump in and start making Monkey Wrench and Lackadaisy, of course. I had been following the Lackadaisy comic since I was a zygote, like that big. I remember reading Tracy's tutorials on how to do expressions and like clothing folds and stuff. And those tutorials were some of the things that helped me learn how to draw. And now I'm working on the project. It's crazy. The world is very small. But yeah, Lackadaisy was a comic for years and years and years before it became an animation. And I know I've talked to a few people who are like, hey, I'm already in my 20s or I'm already in my 30s, like, and I'm really nervous that if I don't start making my indie thing now, that it's too late. And I'm like, I always go, hey, listen, Tracy, the creator of Lackadaisy, was in her 40s when she started making the Lackadaisy animation. You have time. Absolutely have time. So remember to take your time. And if you're not interested in creating your own indie thing, remember those prices I said earlier? That is why it's so important to support indie, because all of us indie creators are trying to make it a viable thing so that artists who are currently out of work, because the industry is trying to outsource jobs and get rid of their in-house animators. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but Cartoon Network Studios, the studio that brought you all of your favorite Cartoon Network shows, shut down. it's gone. All
Yeah.
of the Cartoon Network
I
animators,
heard that.
all of, quote unquote, got moved over to Warner Brothers. And that is just step one in just getting rid of Cartoon Network and only having it be a name, be a brand. And that is why it's really important to support indie currently, because a lot of industry people now are having to move to that because there's no jobs in the industry currently. Because the industry is just like, we don't need you guys. So indie is absolutely not a replacement for industry.
I was gonna say, because like indie is great, it's like wonderful that people are able to create independent cartoons, but it definitely is not sustainable long term.
It is not.
You know, people looking to make a career out of animation.
It is very, very rare that you find a project that has the funding to help fund its team like full-time, full salary work. It's very, very rare. It's getting more common because the indie scene is absolutely blowing up lately, but it is not as common as we would like. So currently, and I want everyone in here to help support this, TAG, the Animation Guild, is on strike to get a better deal for animation right now. And not just indie needs our support, but our industry pals need our support as well. So go look up the TAG strike. I believe, what is the hashtag?
Oh, I don't know the hashtag. Hold on, I'll look for it.
But yeah, TAG is on strike right now to get better rates and make sure the studios are treating them better, paying them better, and respecting their jobs, and not replacing them with AI. Yeah, no, keep artists in-house, do not replace them with robots.
Is it Stand with Animation?
Stand with Animation, that's what it is.
Hashtag Stand with Animation.
Yeah, go on Twitter, look up hashtag Stand with Animation, retweet, share, talk about your favorite cartoons and how much of a shame it is that we can't make stuff like that right now anymore because the industry doesn't want to support our artists and our creators. But anyway, that is my long-winded rant. I care about our people. I want them to be able to eat, in addition to making cool cartoons that everybody gets to argue about their ships for online. It's very important.
This is a family-friendly panel, Ashley.
I said argue about their ships. What'd you think I said?
Something else. I'm so sorry.
I'm being good. I only said one swear.
You did actually say one swear.
I'm good.
You're being mostly good.
But all right, unless you have anything to add.
Not particularly. So for the most part, this panel is, introductions and talking a little bit about what we've done. It's mostly going to be a Q&A on the questions you guys might have as far as indie animation goes, because everyone has a different path getting into indie animation, and there's no like concrete, distinct way of, getting involved, because a lot of us, have done it our own way.
Yeah, exactly. And I know a lot more about the visual and the art side of things, and Michael knows a lot more about the audio and voice acting side of things. So I think we'll open it up to questions. If you have a question, feel free to go ahead and line up at that microphone right there.
Don't be gung-ho like, sending a demo reel that you've made just on a whim to like a big studio or something, because if it's not quite up to par, and you're clearly just starting out, that could set a bad example moving forward with that studio. But, start small with because I know Ash was talking about doing comics for indie animation. A lot of voice actors literally start out just doing comic dubs and like parodies and things like that. I started out just doing like Sonic comic dubs and fan dubs.
What I've seen a lot of new voice actors also do now, or just voice actors in general, making audios for TikTok is like a massive thing right now. And so what I've seen a lot of creators do is they will literally just write like a 2-3 sentence script and act that out and just have it be an audio that's available for creators to use on TikTok. They'll just like role play out like a 10-second scene, and then people will like draw over that and animate that and do all sorts of stuff with it. Comic dubs seem like a really great place to start. And if you want to go the very non-traditional route, the way I got my start is by doing something entirely different, and that is animating. And then eventually being like, hey, I know I've only done animation for you, but could I audition, please? And, you know, I was
That's
lucky.
the big brain move.
I was lucky.
A different, tradition. Learn
Yeah.
art and then be like, can I voice act too?
Yeah, I was lucky that a lot of the creators that I work with like knew that I had wanted to also get into voice acting, so they gave me a shot. So just follow whatever path you feel like is available for you and just put stuff out there, put yourself out there, and just make sure that you are making it clear that you're a cool person who's fun to work with, and people will fight head over heels to work with you. So I wish you the best of luck.
There are also tons of good resources out there for especially like for voice acting. There's the Voice Acting Club, which is a great website made by Kira Buckland, actually, who's here.
Who's here?
Who's here? The Voice Acting Club is a great resource with a bunch of guides and resources for aspiring voice actors. So I would recommend looking up Voice Acting Club. Lots of good tips there.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
So you're looking into doing character design? So I will warn you, character design is a very competitive field that a lot of people want to get into. That is not to say that you can't or you won't. I believe in you. I think you're going to do great. But keep that in mind. So what I would recommend is while you're pursuing your character design portfolio, you also make sure that you have, how do I word this? You make sure that you also have in your portfolio as like separate sections other things that you could also do in the animation sphere. One thing that crosses over great with character design is character layout, which is, character layout artists are artists who take the like rough animation or the storyboards, it depends on the production pipeline, and draw the characters' key poses in the show's art style on model. And that is a very important step for animation that is slowly getting shorn away by productions that are trying to cut costs. So, warning, that is also a hard area to access, but it's another thing that you can show off to go, hey, I know what I'm doing. Another thing that I would recommend maybe to add to your portfolio and work on is like color keys and like being able to do color guides and like show that you can take a character and put them in an environment and change the character's colors to fit that environment. That's another important job. I would also maybe, if you're interested in visual storytelling, maybe having some sort of like storyboarding portfolio as well. Because one of the issues with the industry and indie a little bit is jobs aren't just one job anymore, it's a cluster of jobs. Like cleanup animation is the main one I can speak to because I do it. Cleanup animation used to just be doing the line work over rough animation and maybe correcting the animation a little bit. Now, cleanup is sometimes completely reanimating a shot. That's what I had to do on Animaniacs. Is a lot of the animation that would come in from overseas studios just was completely borked. And so it was my job to go in and completely redo certain sections of it. And then in addition to that, having to do color, having to do lighting, having to do like basic compositing work, those used to all be separate jobs, and now they've slowly just kind of merged into one. So showing that you have a wide array of skills is going to help you the most with getting jobs. And also, it just helps you be a more well-rounded, varied artist. So yeah, look at other aspects of animation and see what interests you, and maybe start exploring those in addition to character design, because all those things will help you become a stronger character designer as well. And another piece of advice that I've heard from, I think his name is Toniko Pantoja. If I'm botching your name, dude, I'm so sorry, but he is a DreamWorks animator. And one of his #1 pieces of advice for character designers is also to learn a little bit of animation. Not a ton, you don't need to be a full-time animator or anything, but learn a tiny bit of it so that when you're designing a character, you can see how they move and how they would look when they're alive and they're moving around. And that can help you figure out, okay, what aspects of this character don't move very well or don't rotate super well in a, you know, a 3D space. Or like what elements are kind of annoying to keep track of. All that stuff will help you become stronger. And I'm sorry for the super long-winded rant, but it's a competitive field out there. But I know if you put your mind to it and you practice and you put yourself out there, you're gonna do a great job. One of the main characters for my show is a sparkle dog, so yes, accurate. Oh, thank you.
Also, if you guys just saw me on my phone, I had to buy the murder drones.
You're up here shopping.
I went shopping.
So my question is, so you said starting out small. What would be the medium, aside from eventually getting to the animation, what was the medium that you would say that you would maybe start out with before we head into the animation part?
It really depends on what you want to do. I was talking to a writer about last week, I think, that was like, hey, where do I begin? I'm not an artist, I don't draw. And I was like, you could literally start writing fan fiction. Like, it's literally find anything you are interested in doing. It could be writing fan fiction, it could be doing little like comic dubs, it could be doing tiny little like audio dramas, it could be dubbing fan comics, you know, it could be anything you want to do, as long as it is something small that you can put out quickly and regularly to help you build up your skills and practice whatever it is that you want to be doing. So like on the art side of things, I tell people start small, like with comics and stuff maybe, and they'll go, okay, so a comic series, and I'm like, no. Start with a like 2-panel comic, and that's it. Start teeny tiny, and then work your way up, because like, some people misinterpret when I say like starting small with a comic means comics are easy. No, they are not. Comics are basically storyboards for animation. And that is also another reason why they're an excellent place to start though. But literally, it could be just like a 3-frame animatic that you put on TikTok to somebody else's audio. Like it could be literally whatever you want. Just be gentle on yourself and don't dive into the deep end of the pool before you know how to swim.
Thank you so much, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
To voice act one episode? Well, I'll use murder drones as reference since you're just as easy. Honestly, I think the longest session I've had was 2.5 hours for one episode. So usually they're wrapped within 30 minutes, actually, because we get in a call, me and the director, Jasmine, who's the manager at Glitch. And most of the sessions will just, go down the script. I've read the script ahead of time usually. And, we'll do any efforts that are in between. So like, I'll do a line and then in the middle of, spaces between the next line, maybe there are bits where Ed goes like, just makes noises or something.
Those creative juices is also having your A project that you're working on mainly, and then also having just a smaller B project that is nothing like your initial project to just tinker with and fiddle with on the side, because I can't tell you how many times I've been fiddling around with like a secondary thing, and then doing that has given me inspiration to work on the main thing again. You're like, oh, I have an idea, I gotta go back to this and work on that, yeah, it helps a lot to just give your brain other things to do and focus on.
Thank you.
How do you guys go about music production for Sesame?
Good question. So music production for Sesamoid is primarily handled by our lead Sesamoid composer, Hunter Bass. Well, fine. First you kill Red Guy and then you give me sass. How dare you? Typically, me, Dave, or Hunter, one of us will have inspiration for a song that we want to do, be it an original or a cover, and we will just start hashing out ideas, coming up with like a general vibe we want to go for. Like before we started Creature Feature, I sent over a bunch of like example songs of like, this is the kind of like vibe that I want to go for, the general kind of feel, and then once we started like hashing out the sound a little bit, I went ahead and made a document that had some ideas for like the vibe of some of the lyrics that I wanted to go for, and basically a like outline of the story that I wanted to tell for the song. Like I'm like, okay, I want chorus 1 to tell this aspect of the story and have this kind of feeling. I want the next part to kind of be like the climax of the story, and really hit a high point of like anger and frustration. And then I want the last part to kind of like, oh God, what is it called? Not subvert, that's the word. Subvert expectations and be much more melancholy and be a much darker, sadder resolution to this very angry story that's been building up. And then there's songs like Mad Ventricular, where we were just like, the vibe is everybody's having a good time. Let's just do that. And so it was us just throwing lyric ideas back and forth with each other and having new adventure. But yeah, that was a fun song to write. So like some of them are a lot more involved, like story and lyrically, and then others are just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sounds fun. But yeah, as for the covers, it's usually one of us, me, Dave, or Hunter, come up with a song and then fight to the death over which one that we want to do. And so now we've relegated that to the patrons voting on that. But typically when we do a song cover, we don't just want to do a one-for-one cover. We want to throw like a little bit of that Sesamoid vibe onto it. And so recently with the Don't Fear the Reaper cover, we actually ran into an issue of the cover basically sounding just one-to-one for the original. And we had to take a step back and go, okay, I think we've been a little too anxious about doing this cover that we've just kind of forgotten to throw in more of the fun things that we generally like to do. So let's take a step back, let's reassess, figure out what we can do. So we up the tempo to make it a lot higher energy. We're throwing in changes to how like the guitar and some of the melodies go. And like one of the main things that we had to discuss is, since it is a virtual band, how do we incorporate the voices of the characters? Like not the literal voices, but like the voices of how they play their instruments more into the song. And we were like, one thing that we haven't done yet is really let Piper, our best girl, really let her personality show through in her guitar playing. It's been way too straight. It's like, no, Piper is a weeb and she has way too much energy than she knows what to do with. She needs to let some of that out. So we've been really like experimenting with the guitar playing to really show Piper's fun side and how she likes to play around. And of course, we've had Quinn's show-offiness with the drums from the beginning, which makes all of our music a nightmare for anyone to cover. Thank you, Quinn. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, of course. So how do you deal with a frame of animation that just doesn't quite look right and you can't figure out what's wrong with it?
Yes.
Yes, cool. So that happens a lot, and very skilled animators will even struggle with that sometimes. Sometimes you've been working on something for so long, you've been staring at it for far too long, you're like, I don't know what's wrong with you. I've been looking at you for 8 hours. I'm so tired of you. And that is the point where you need to either A, take a step back, work on something else, work on another shot that is part of the project, or work on just literally anything else. Get your eyes off of it. Or alternatively, send it to a fresh set of eyes that hasn't seen it yet or hasn't been staring at it for forever and go, I don't know what's wrong with it, help. And a lot of the time, if I'm working on a drawing or anything and I'm having that same feeling, I'll just send it to a friend who's also an artist and be like, what's wrong with it? Give me red lines now. And they'll usually be able to just immediately be like, oh, it's this leg. It's like 8 feet long. What the heck, Ashley? And I'm like, I don't know, okay. And so they'll give me like some notes back or just, tell me like what I could adjust. And then it's like, oh, okay. And then another thing is sometimes just take a break from drawing for a little bit, walk away, have lunch, watch a TV show, and then come back to it later refreshed and be like, oh, okay, I see what's wrong. You have 8 eyes. How did I do that? But yeah, don't feel discouraged by that feeling. It's really common. It happens to everybody. So just give it to other fresh eyes, or let yourself have time to rebuild fresh eyes to stare at it with?
Anyways, I was going to ask this question yesterday. As an animator, have you ever animated a character and automatically had an idea of what this character is going to sound like, and then the voice actors were like, no, this is what they're going to sound like, and you're just like, that is not what I wanted a character to sound like?
Yeah, it really depends on the character. There have been some characters that I've created that I instantly like, oh, I know exactly the person that I want to voice this character. With Quinn, one of the main characters in my show Farfetched, the moment I made him, I'm like, you are going to be voiced by J. Michael Tatum. I know it in my soul of souls, and it will be perfect. And then there have been other characters that I've made, like Rue, who is the main character. A lot of people assume, like, oh, you must know exactly what you want her to sound like. And I was like, no, I had no idea. I was literally waiting for the voice actor to come along and just give me that spark of inspiration to go, oh, that's her. That's what she sounds like. But if you're talking about, like, in the booth, if, like, voice actors have, like, given me a delivery where I'm like, that's not quite what I wanted you to go for, even after casting them. It does happen every now and again, but thankfully it is really easy to work with your voice actors in the booth and go, okay, I see what you're going for, but maybe let's push it more towards this direction, or maybe give me a few variants on that. Or even sometimes you can literally just go, okay, I'm going to deliver it the way I think it should sound, and then you parrot that back to me. But usually that is like a last ditch thing that I only think I've had to do like once, maybe. But typically my voice actors have been absolutely fantastic at just giving me like exactly what I needed, or giving me something entirely different that I was like, well, that's way better than what I had in mind. Never mind, we're going with that.
I was going to say, because I know there are a lot of cases where, you've got like a specific headcanon thought of a voice in your mind, but then a voice actor pulls out something completely wildly different, and you're like, I actually really like that.
You know, a perfect example of that is Grim from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
I know, yeah, Grim.
So you guys know Grim from Grim Adventures, yeah? That classic Jamaican accent. That is not at all what the creator originally wanted. Like, not even a little bit. What did he originally want? I think he just wanted like something deep and scary.
Scary and menacing. And then Greg Eagles, I believe his name is, came in.
Yeah, they were just like, this isn't quite working. Just give us something different. And he pulls out the Jamaican accent, and they were just like, oh my god.
They fell in love.
That's perfect.
It completely morphed his characterization in a lot of ways. They're like, this is Grim.
Yeah, it completely changed the character, and it was for the best. I don't know if that show would be anywhere near as fondly remembered as it is if it wasn't for that performance. Everybody loves Jamaican Grim. But yeah, I hope that answers your
Also
question.
shows just how much sometimes like a performance can make or break really how you view a character.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
How important it is that you are thoughtful on that front.
One more question. For voice acting, have you ever been out in public and be like talking to somebody and without even knowing it started being one of their characters? You not realize it until you realize everyone else is staring at you like, how are they talking this?
It's funny, I don't think that ever happens to most people. It's funny to think about, just going out in public and then suddenly just shifting into like a character, like performance kind of voice. But it usually doesn't happen. If anything, I'll talk in my natural voice, they'll be like, you kind of sound familiar. Like, you sound like this character, and I'll be like, I voiced them. Usually that'll happen.
This isn't true at all. Michael will go into all sorts of random character voices at all times, all through the house.
I don't. In the house, yes. In public, I never do. No, in public, I'm totally chill.
Excuse me, Mr. Wahoo! Yippee! Wahoo! I cannot tell you how many times we've been in a restaurant and we're trying to leave, and he's like, all right, everybody, let's go. And I'm just like, Michael, we're surrounded by normal people. So to answer your question, ignore him. Yes, it does happen. Just without realizing it.
But my first question is, how do you come up with a character like design or like an idea? Because I'm not like completely in
So, if they say otherwise, they're lying to you. Almost every character design starts with inspiration from something else. Almost every character design you see is just an amalgamation of a bunch of different character designs. I struggle to think of examples outside of my own show because a lot of artists don't reveal those deep, dark secrets. But I know my character Quinn in Farfetch is literally just a combination of Metaton and Taco from the Adventure Zone. And that is how a lot of creatives create characters, or sometimes they make characters based off people they know. Steven from Steven Universe is based off of Rebecca Sugar's brother. She literally made the main character of her show based off of her own brother. Or their own brother, I think they go by they, them. Their own brother. But yeah, take inspiration from things around you that you're inspired by. Could be your friends, could be family, could be TV shows, video games, books, whatever it is that you're interested in, and just experiment around and, you know, go, if I was to combine like this character with like this different personality or this different aesthetic, what would they look like? And like play around with that. Or if I was to combine like different elements of all these other characters together into one, how would that turn out? And yeah, just experiment around, have fun, take inspiration from things. And like I said, if anybody tells you that they don't take inspiration from anything else, they're entirely original, they're lying to you.
To add on to that, like on the voice acting side of things, I know that a lot of voice actors, like some of the voices they do for characters, are genuinely like impressions of things. Like sometimes bad impressions. Like Peter Griffin, for instance, is Seth MacFarlane doing an impression of a security guard he saw that just had a really unique voice. And he's like, I gotta use that for something. So it's like a lot of people take inspiration from things, whether it's character design, art, voice acting. Everything's inspired by something.
We just got back to the room. We just got done meeting Chris, and he was very sweet. I got a photo and an autograph, and I will probably show the photos after this at some point. We also got food from the food truck, so we're chilling at the hotel room for a bit, and eating, and then we're gonna go do some shopping. Alright, we are on our way to go check out the shopping center with all the small businesses, the artist alley or whatever, and then afterwards we're gonna go to one event. My phone is almost dead, so I'm gonna leave it here at the room to charge. So I don't know when this vlog will pick back up, but it will pick back up at some point. You might miss like one event that we're gonna go to. So it is now 2 p.m. We were gonna go to a Crafting with Nifty event, but I think all of us are just so like burnt out right now, we need a break. So we are actually gonna wait until 4, and then we are gonna go check out the cosplay contest. I decided that I don't really want to sit in cosplay for the next 2 hours, so I think I'm gonna call it a day here as far as cosplaying goes. I also ran into a few of my mutuals walking around the con. I ran into one of my TikTok mutuals and one of my Instagram mutuals. I ran into a few people I know, so that was pretty cool, and I got photos with them. And I will put their socials up on the photos I got with them. And now we are going to head down to the cosplay contest. Alright, so it is about probably 20 minutes later, and we went down, we ran a little late, and there was a long ass line when we got down there, and we pretty much made it probably like 5-7 people back from the door. And one of the staff closed the door, and she said, "We're at capacity, you can't watch the cosplay contest." So everybody go home, and so we did not get to watch the cosplay contest. So now we're thinking that we want to get there super early for the Living Tombstone concert. Otherwise, that's going to hit capacity, and then we won't be able to see it. And so we are going to start a buzz going so that we can enjoy the rest of our cosplay night. We're going to a concert tonight, And I don't really like concerts. Some of them I've had fun at, some of them have been really overstimulating, so I'm hoping the alcohol helps. So this alcohol was too strong, so I'm gonna mix it with my water and water it down, because I am a lightweight and I can't stand the taste of alcohol. So we're currently here like an hour or two early for the concert, and there's just a long, like there's a crowd waiting for this concert. I'm a little worried it's going to be a repeat of the cosplay contest and we're not going to be able to get in. I don't know if I'll ever emotionally recover if we can't get in. This was literally the whole reason we came to this convention in the first place, and so we'll have to see. I'll keep y'all updated. So it's currently about 4 minutes until the opening DJ starts. So I think in the next 5-ish minutes, they're probably going to start letting people in. I'm going to hope that we can get in, because the Living Tombstone concert was like the event that I was most excited for. But apparently it was also the event that a lot of other people were most excited for. So excited that they got here hours before we did, and have been sitting here for a long time. Tombstone, Tombstone. just got out of the concert, and I had a really good time. I don't usually sing at concerts, but I was singing super loudly, yelling out the lyrics that I knew. It also made me realize how many Living Tombstone songs I both know and don't know. There were a bunch of songs where I was like, I've heard parts of this song, but I didn't know they wrote that. Or there were songs that I was like, wow, I forgot they wrote that. So I was just like, there are a lot of TLT songs that I guess I knew, but I didn't know were by TLT. Currently, we're at a restaurant inside the hotel, trying to get some food before our next panel. And
we're hungry,
so
hungry
yeah.
hippos.
And this one was very drunk during the concert. And
you have no proof, there's no evidence.
And
If only we
started
recorded her.
and started cackling in the middle of the audience.
I did. I'm kidding.
For like 5 whole minutes. Probably more. It felt like more. But we were worried we were gonna need to like slap and reboot her or something. And there she is having more alcohol even afterwards.
You have a problem.
My mom lost her pass, so I am no longer with the rest of my group. But I'm gonna head to the next panel because it's starting soon. So, yeah. So, my family went out to go do some more events, because it's like 2 hours until the next event on our schedule, and I opted not to go because, A, I'm not feeling well, and B, I just wanted a break, and so I am just gonna chill here for a bit. Alright. I just woke up from like an hour or two nap. It is currently midnight, and we are about to head to our last event of the con, Smash or Pass, but it progressively gets worse. I don't know if I ever said it in a clip, but the previous event we were going to go to got canceled, so we couldn't figure out where it was. When we tried to look it up, we could not find it anywhere on the schedule. So yeah, we can't figure out what happened to it. So we think it got canceled. So we instead just came back to the room and napped a bunch, and then now we're about to head out to our last event of the con. A few minutes ago at like 11:40, a group of like...
Are we talking about the screaming kids?
Yeah, screaming teenage girls, possibly older, came galumping down the hallway and like yelling at each other, like right outside our door. So, thank you to whoever that was for
getting us up nice and early.
For tossing a big old racket up at 11:40 at night.
Now, the final two. Sans or Mothman?
Sans!
Does anyone want to argue for Sans? I mean, Moth's boys. Okay. So our winner this year is Mothman.
So, our Smash or Pass event, but it continually gets worse, just got out. It got out early, so we're back at the hotel room. It wasn't exactly what I expected. I was expecting them to bring, like, sentient, inanimate objects, like the vending machine from the vending machine anime, or the chair guy from that new anime movie, Suzume. But it was actually just, like, really morally corrupt evil villains, like a bunch of One Piece villains. Muzan. The guy from Full Metal Alchemist who kills his daughter to win a science contest. Just a whole bunch of stuff. I probably put some photos before this clip, so you'll see some of the ones. But, yeah. So, that was, the last panel for this convention. And so we're gonna call it a night here, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Alright, and it's currently 9 a.m. I'm very exhausted. I was, up late at the panels, and I didn't sleep well last night, so I'm just all around super tired, so I'm probably gonna sleep in the car. Maybe even nap when we get home, who knows. But yeah, we're getting packed up and ready to leave right now, and we're gonna make the 2-ish hour drive home. David, what was your favorite moment of the convention?
I like the Bo Burnham panel.
Your favorite was still the Bo Burnham panel?
Yeah.
Mother, what was your favorite event at the con?
I don't know, it's probably between the Bo Burnham and the concert when I had the games.
Yeah.
You were smashed out your mind.
Alright. So, just as kind of like an afterthought, I have a few more things that I want to talk about that I didn't really get to or forgot to in my videos. So yeah. The Bo Burnham event was probably also my favorite. The host was super funny. I kind of wish that he had like an influencer name so I could see, so we could look for him at other conventions. Maybe he'll be back next year. Queen City was actually a more promising con than I thought last year. They improved it a lot, even though it was a little frustrating when we got kicked out of the cosplay contest line because they hit capacity. But, you know, so yeah. I met 2 of my mutuals there too, so it is a nice con in the area to go and meet some of my friends in the area. And apparently I had a bunch of other mutuals who were going to go to this con and then didn't. So I could have met even more people I knew there. When I met up with Chris, I did mention to him that I actually got into Danganronpa through the Game Grumps playing it. And I told him, I was like, actually, one of the Game Grumps took a really big liking to Gundam Tanaka, your character. And so I think that's super cool. And he actually said that he actually like has a lot of respect for the Game Grumps because they brought to light a lot of new Danganronpa fans, or reignited a bunch of old Danganronpa fans that had kind of forgotten about the series and were getting back into it now because they played it. I will say this con was kind of fun in like a new like way. You know how like sleepovers are fun because you get to go hang out with your friends and you get to like stay up late? Because this was like a later con, it really felt like that. It's like, oh, we're in this like giant town-wide sleepover with like a bunch of geeky dorks. So I really liked that aspect. Maybe we will come back here next year. We'll have to see what events are happening. So yeah, I think that might be all of the afterthoughts I have for right now. Maybe I will update this video again if like I think of anything else that I want to mention. But for now, I think I'm gonna end this vlog here.